We've covered all the Boxing Day games. Now it's time for Arsenal. Arsenal versus Ipswich. Let's get into it, guys. I won't waste your time. Arsenal running out as 1-0 winners. We're going to start off looking at the lineups, then dive into the game. First, starting off from an Arsenal perspective, with Saka being out, the main news from an Arsenal perspective, how would they operate? How would they execute? Well, the answer was probably in the last game. Similar structure when Saka went down against Crystal Palace. Martinelli moving out to the right, Trossard on the left, Jesus up top, Kai Havertz in midfield, accompanied by Rice and Odegaard, and Miles Lewis-Skelly at left back, Timber at right back, and Saliba and Gabriel at centre back. So standard team for Arsenal with Saka being out now. From an Ipswich perspective, their danger and key threats would have come from Delap, Hutchinson, and Smodic, three players who can produce a bit of magic in their own right. However, in this game, that wasn't to be the case. And so coming into the game, main talking point for Arsenal, how would they fare without Saka? What would their play be like? Would they be able to get the victory against an Ipswich side, which they should be able to get the victory against? The question was answered in this game. Arsenal were able to get the victory. Kai Havertz, midway through the first half, was able to get the goal. Arsenal completely dominated the game, if we're being honest with you. Looking at the momentum that we have here for the whole of the first half, in complete control. Second half, Ipswich got a little bit more joy. I think it's kind of, as the game went on, their confidence grew, knowing that Arsenal couldn't close out the game, and that gave them an opportunity to potentially do something with. Unfortunately for them, they weren't able to progress those opportunities. If we look at the stats, I think it shows in terms of a more glaring picture in terms of the dominance that Arsenal had. So complete domination of the ball. I would have actually liked to see Arsenal have a couple more opportunities and chances, to be honest with you. 13 shots and 5 on target with that amount of possession seems a little bit out of whack. As you can see, Ipswich weren't able to register a shot on goal. They weren't actually able to register a shot in the box. If you look at the graph that we have here, all of their shots were outside of the box. And I would say for them, a team that prides themselves on probably being attacking wise a little bit more adventurous would be very disappointing to them. So again, for Ipswich, this is their first game where they weren't able to register a shot on target in the Premier League, if I'm not mistaken. So Arsenal did a great job defensively. We're going to start off talking about their defense actually, and then we'll come back to the goal in question. So obviously we spoke about the Arsenal back four against a team like Ipswich. You would expect them to essentially pitch a shutout, not allow Ipswich to score, but not allowing them to have a shot in the box is very impressive. And the player I want to call out is Jurriën Timber. I've spoken about him before. I'll speak about him again. What a player. Defensively, what can't he do? The absolute action man for Arsenal, if I'm being honest with you. That title was for Ben White. We are missing Ben White. I can't wait for him to come back. But Timber is the action man of Arsenal. He can play left back, right back, centre back. He can tackle. He can defend. He can attack. He can cross. He can cut in. He can, whatever you want from him, the boy can do. 23 years of age, Arsenal have an absolute gem on their hands. You can see with his passing, he's normally quite safe with his passing. That's as a knock on him in the beginning of his Arsenal career. However, he will continue to grow, he will continue to flourish. And it was difficult when he doesn't have someone who he can link up with, like the likes of Saka, someone who really pushes him on and gets him forward to do what he needs to do. That connection with Martinelli will need to be developed, will need to be established. As you can see, plenty of the ball passes into the final third as well. Defensively was an absolute gem. 2 interceptions, 5 recoveries, wasn't dribbled past, won 9 duels, only lost 2. Absolutely amazing. The boy can do it all. I love him. He's the kind of defender I want to see at my team and my club. Him, Saliba, Gabriel, amazing. Another player I want to call out, Lewis Skelly, looks so mature for his age. Absolutely so mature. 18 years of age. The boy looks like a fully grown man. He's got it. Not only has he got the physical profile at such a young age, he's got the technical profile, and he's also got a little bit of the mentality. There was a point in a period where I think it was Calvin Phillips couldn't get past Gabriel, the old centre back trick of holding a player off, got frustrated, pushed Gabriel, and Miles Lewis-Skelly was right there, you know, telling him about himself. And that's the kind of personalities I want at my club, strong personalities. And he's fit right in, to be honest with you. He's my preferred left back at this present moment over Calafiori. Calafiori might have the height and I would say more of the aggression about him. There will be games where Calafiori is needed, but Calafiori's young in his own respect as well. He's a young player. He's growing. He's got his deficiencies. For me, Lewis Skelly is the more safe pair of hands at left back in this moment in time. Calafiori is probably the more adventurous one. He will get forward. He'll invert. He'll take the more risky pass. He'll launch himself into that tackle. Whereas Miles Lewis Skelly is probably the safer pair of hands. So that's the Arsenal defense. They perform really, really well. Pitch to shut out, deserve all of their accolades. If you look at the table currently, obviously Liverpool are going to play another game, and so are Everton. But in terms of defence, even with Liverpool playing a game less, Arsenal have the best defence in the league. 16 goals conceded all season. It was looking like this wouldn't be the case, but form, temporary, class is permanent. That Arsenal defence is a class of its own. Only people who are matching that is Van Dijk. And the Liverpool led defence there. They have their deficiencies, of course. They obviously operate with the best attack in the league at this present time, and so you've got to give them the respect. But Arsenal are doing what they need to do defensively and showing for the third year running that they have one of the best defences in the league. Coming back to the game and the winning and decisive goal, which was scored by Kai Havertz, a well-worked goal. Trossard on the wing finds his way past the fullback. He wasn't looking to cut in this time. He worked him down the touchline, hugged the touchline, drilled in across, and Kai Havertz was there with his perfect positioning. That's one of the advantages you get from playing Kai Havertz in left centre mid, because again, you'll look at the Arsenal formation, and yes, at times they were structured like this. Other times you had Kai Havertz pulling in, almost forming this into a 4-2-4, giving Arsenal the opportunity to move the ball around the wings and have an extra body in the box to attack the balls. Not only being Jesus, who can obviously drop that partnership, that ability for Kai Havertz to push in, Declan Rice having the ability to cover the space with Odegaard, and essentially having another player invert as well to add to that midfield depth is very, very beneficial. I would say Kai Havertz, again, the goal, the decisive goal, people can on Kai for whatever reason that they want to. For me, he's a player who I've been very happy with since he's come into Arsenal. He was brought in to play a left-sided centre mid position by a manager in Mikel Arteta who saw something that wasn't his natural position. He was a striker, a shadow striker before that, attacking mid before that, never played the left centre mid position. Now he's come in and done that in the beginning of his Arsenal career. A lot of people didn't like it. I wasn't the biggest fan, but one thing he always did was give a solid performance. Whether it's 6, 7 out of 10, he tried his hardest. If I'm being honest with you, more than often than not, I would say it would be on Mikel on picking the right moments of when you want to run a Kai Havertz in this position. I would say in the main he should be playing striker. The next topic I want to actually bring up is Saka's out, and I'm going to talk about it in more depth. Saka's out. How do Arsenal operate? One person I want to talk about, and I would say I was very disappointed with, is Martinelli. On the right wing, yes, he's not his normal position, but on the left wing, he hasn't been doing much anyway. He has the ability to do a lot more here. And one thing that stood out to me, and I spoke about it with my friends, is his one-on-one ability compared to Saka is scary. It's scary, the difference. And again, two players who play on the wing, but two players who possess two completely different profiles. That's understood. But one thing for a winger, regardless of profile, in most cases, unless you're playing as more of a playmaker on the wing, is you need to be able to take on your fullback one-on-one. Take him on, beat the man with whatever way you want to do it. Saka has his way. Martinelli should have his way, and Martinelli's ability and efficiency in breaking down his fullback, to me, is less than desirable. He needs to be a lot better. Trossard is not the fastest player in the world, but he can break down his fullback. Martinelli should be able to break down his fullback a lot more than he is doing at this moment in time. Jesus, we said that we'll look at how you perform against a team that isn't Crystal Palace. He did have the goal ruled out for being offside. I wasn't overly impressed with his overall performance. If he gets that goal, everything changes, just like it does with probably the Kai Havertz performance as well. So I won't hate on it too bad. However, if it's not working in the next game or the game after that, put Kai Havertz back up top, move Jesus to the wing, take Martinelli off the bench, and try something a little bit different. The midfield three of Odegaard, Havertz, Rice, it works sparingly. To be honest with you, I want to see Thomas Partey starting. I'm not really understanding why he's not starting. I would rather see him there, playing in that midfield alongside Rice. However, we want to see Rice in the six. Questions about Rice and his progression with the ball. Does he make it a little bit too safe? Should he be looking for the more adventurous pass? One thing I say is we don't know what the manager's told him. We don't know what the manager's instructed him to do. The angles that he might be looking for. I think Declan Rice, if you don't know, started off as a centre back, has formed himself into a midfielder. Defensively, one of one, an amazing defensive midfielder. Moving the ball forward, yes, he needs to progress there for sure. But overall, from today, I thought he was good enough for us to flourish and see out the game essentially. For Arsenal, again, this would be a game that you would want to see them run out as 3-4-0 winners. That wasn't the case, unfortunately, but they saw out the game. They are now, let's just take a look at the table, up to second, as mentioned. They've leapfrogged Chelsea and Nottingham Forest into the second place position. And it's now about pushing on. Liverpool, the pressure will be on them to continue their form. It's kind of, if I'm being honest with you, get into a position of, can you really doubt them? They keep on doing it. They keep on scoring. They keep on coming back. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how they progress from this point on. But again, we've got competition, and that's what we wanted. Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, even Nottingham Forest. You can't discount them with the amazing season that they've had. From progressing on, we will be covering the upcoming Premier League fixtures starting from Sunday. If we just take a look now, that will be highlighted by the games with Arsenal versus Brentford on the Wednesday, Man United versus Newcastle, Liverpool versus West Ham, and you also have Leicester versus Man City and Chelsea versus Ipswich as well. So those are the key games that we'll probably be covering the next time I see you guys for football. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Leave your likes, leave your comments, and make sure to subscribe, guys. It's been EDA. I'll catch you soon. Peace.